Let me ask you, what is your EMS challenge? Is it passing exams, understanding and retaining enormous amounts of medical content, maybe feeling the pressure of having to retain all that content? Perhaps it's mastering the many skills that as an EMS professional you have to know the ins and outs of to do safely and correctly. Or is the biggest challenge knowing how and when to apply it all when you are out on the street? Have you ever heard your instructor ask questions like, "What's on the test?" or "What's the hardest part of the exam?" Maybe you had that chest pain call or respiratory distress call that just didn't fit the textbook. I know I have. I also know that the answers you usually get are something like, "Expect everything to be on the test," or "The exam is as hard as you make it." Or when questioning what you found on that chest pain call, you get a "just follow the protocol" type response from your QA/QI department. Frankly, those answers don't help you or your patient, and while you could most likely find a bunch of resources online and off to get some of your answers, you may still be wondering which are the right ones, and you may have even done this once or twice already. Listen, if you are willing and have an unlimited amount of finances and even time, you can get all the help you need in a bunch of different places. However, the last time that I checked, we don't make all that much in EMS, and we certainly don't have a bunch of spare time either. What you need is an all-inclusive, easy-to-use, and time-saving resource that will give you everything you could possibly need to succeed on any exam and throughout your EMS career. One that also has the support and that will grow with you as you learn, making you a true EMS professional. My name is Jim Hoffman, and you may have seen or heard of me through my live weekly podcast at EMS Office Hours, or took part in my day-long webinar event, the EMS Web Summit. You may have even taken advantage of my training resources over at emsseo.com. To be honest, I've worked in EMS over 20 years and have taken 3 different state exams, 4 regional exams, the National Registry, and have dealt with continuing education, recertification, the skills updates, as well as all the EMS politics that go along with it. Listen, I've heard the half answers, the no answers, and the just follow the skill sheets or just take them to the hospital comments more than I care to share or admit. And this is why I created Paramedic and dedicated myself to helping other EMS professionals like you succeed in their career and on any exam that they take. Take a look here at a few testimonials I have from other EMS pros like you. My favorite was from Susan because she sent it from Afghanistan, and I thought it was pretty cool. Now, another thing I want to show you here real quick is some tools that you can use to help implement and pass your next exam. Okay, when we talk about exam success, normally what we think of are using things like textbooks or using practice exams, but there's a lot of other resources we can use that will help us when it comes to taking our exams, whether it's a multiple choice test, an oral exam, or even skills. When you think about textbooks, normally what we think about is that traditional way to study, right? It reinforces what you've learned. You're going over the chapters that you went through in school, going back to the summaries of those notes you may have taken during your didactic part of your EMS training. Now, the thing is, those are great to use, right? But we can kind of get conditioned to studying that way. We sort of have that mindset that if we just go ahead and study the book and reread the chapter, we're going to retain everything that we need in order to pass. And for some people, that does work, right? Sometimes all they need is just sort of that reinforcement by reading the textbooks, right? Rereading the chapters, going over the chapter summaries, the highlights, and things like that. But again, that ends up being the type of thing for a lot of people where we end up feeling very conditioned to it, and believe it or not, when you're rereading those chapters over and over again, it's sort of like you're just going through the motions. You're not really taking advantage of the content that you're reading. So there are other things that we can do to sort of even help sort of build on top of the chapter readings, right? And one of those things is by using audio. Now, audio is a great way to reinforce this content. You can have audio on chapters or on specific content types. You can listen to it on your computer. You can listen to your MP3 player. You can use your iPod or even put them on a CD-ROM to listen to in your car or things like that. Now, how do you get the audio? Well, there's a lot of professional done audio out there. You can actually even go ahead and record audio as your instructor is speaking and play that back. You can even create your own audio in your own voice just by using a simple recording type of software you can find online in many different places, and record your own audio on the content that you feel you need to have reinforced or that maybe you're struggling with, and that can help you as well sort of reinforce that content. And then of course there's that professionally done type of audio that focuses on different areas and different subject matter and is presented in a way that is designed to really reinforce those textbooks and reinforce what you've already learned. Now, in addition to audio, video is another thing that you can use. Now, what I want you to do for a second, just think about when we talk about video, right? Think about what you remember when you watch TV versus what you read in a book. You know, there's actually been studies done that show that you'll be able to recall a lot easier what you saw on television versus what you might have read in a book. Okay, you think about things like Seinfeld or something like that. You think about the characters there. You could probably rattle off those characters pretty quickly. But a book that you might have read, around the same time you watch that TV show, you might have a little bit more difficulty sort of recalling all the different characters in a book. So it actually is proven that you'll remember what you see and hear a lot faster and a lot easier than you would what you read in a book. And again, it's not to say that that traditional textbook study type of method doesn't work, but to me that is really just the beginning of what you should be doing when you're studying and trying to retain the knowledge you need to pass exams. And again, video isn't just not just that reinforced information, but it's also just a whole nother method of learning. You talk about webinars, you talk about presentations, even things like watching skills being done. Sometimes when you watch a skill being done on video a few times, that can help you sort of understand the skill even better than when you're watching it done, let's say in person in your classroom. They're doing the skill stations, you're watching them do the skills. Great way to learn, right? But if you go back and you watch a few videos on the same skill being done, you might catch some nuances that you missed when you saw your classmate doing it or you saw your instructor doing it. Now, the other thing is study groups, and this is something a lot of people feel this is a great way to study, but there's some tricks with study groups you have to kind of be aware of, and it is great for peer review when you set up study groups to study, right? But what you should think of is when you set a time and a time frame for your study group, stick to that time frame. If you have it for 30 minutes, do the entire 30 minutes. Don't go over. Focus on the topics that you want to focus on for that group. Don't bounce around picking different topics all over the place, because you're not going to get enough content study out of the group. And what's going to end up happening is that everybody in the group is going to start giving their own take on the right or wrong way to do something, or the right or wrong way to present something. And when you focus on those topics, try to see if you have one person in the group that is that strong anchor, right? The one person in the group who is strong on that topic, so that this way, while you're studying and while you're giving feedback to each other and talking about that topic, you've got one person in the group who is solid on it, and they can sort of guide the study, right? Sort of guide where you're going and what you seem to be sort of lacking in, right? So this way, everyone sort of takes a turn in doing that. And if you don't have a strong anchor, then just have somebody there who's going to use, let's say, the textbook chapter or your handouts or things like that they can refer to, and that can be sort of like your map for the study group, okay? Now, the last thing I want to talk about is practice exams. Now, this is the one thing that everybody relies on, right? They rely on using practice exams and the textbooks in order to pass their exams, right? So most of the time in EMS, the exams are multiple choice. You might get some matchup type questions, things like that. And you can do things like there's online services you can use for exams. There are actual physical books you can use to take your exams. Actually, now there's web applications, iPhone applications, Android applications you can use to practice exams. And then there's software. Okay, there's actual CD-ROMs and DVDs out there that you can purchase that you can go ahead and set your exams up that way too. Now, exams are really good ways to study, but I don't think it should be your primary way. In my opinion, I think exams should really be used more to validate what you already know, validate what you've learned through all the other things that I've mentioned today, the textbooks, the audio, the video, or study groups, and use exams to sort of validate what you already know and to find your weaknesses. Now, you can see when you take a lot of exams, you'll be able to find weaknesses where it is that you are sort of struggling in. Maybe it's cardiology, maybe it's anatomy and physiology, maybe it's pharmacology, whatever it is. And then what you can do is, once you sort of know where weak points are, don't expect the exam to give you the answers or to give you the path on how to fix that sort of shortcoming. But what you want to do is go back to your textbooks, the audios, the videos, and in your study groups, and focus then on the topics that you seem to be struggling with, or the topics that you are getting incorrect on the practice exams. So again, these are 5 ways. There are other ways, things like flashcards you can use is another example of a way you can study as well. Lots of different ways you can do it. You can combine all 5 of these. Maybe use 1 or 2 of them. You're going to have to, in my opinion, go ahead and sort of focus on the things and the methods that are going to help you as an individual. All of these might not work for everybody. Some people use all 5, some people use 2 or 3 of them. It's going to depend upon you as an individual and what you feel is helping you. And that's where I think the practice exams themselves come in. So all of these 5 of these right here, you can get them, they're online. You can check things like YouTube for the videos. You can go, again, the audio, you can find professionally done ones, create them yourself. Textbooks, of course, or a multitude on Amazon, on what you get from your instructor. Study groups is just a peer sort of base setup that you're going to do, and the practice exams, again, online books, web apps, or even software. And I actually have a place where you can get all of this at one area, and I'm going to go ahead and explain that a little bit further here in a few minutes, so just stay tuned to the video. So you can see there's more than one way to skin that EMS exam cat, right? Now, what if I could show you how you could pass every EMS exam, master your EMS skills, and advance your career? A true, proven resource at any certification level. Provide you the tools you can use to excel in any area of your EMS career and beyond. This resource could save you thousands of dollars over the years, and more importantly, hundreds of hours of frustrated and totally wasted time. It can also help you succeed when you have the right tools that you need. This is what Paramedic is all about. If you've ever felt like you just didn't get it in class, or can't find an answer to questions you know should be on your classroom textbook but just aren't, perhaps you're in a call and want to research and critique yourself on your performance of treating that patient's medical condition. The possible uses of the PC textbooks included inside Paramedic are endless. They really are a powerful addition to your EMS library and promise to be a go-to resource throughout your EMS career. Paramedic has included over 50 heart and lung sounds, topic-specific audio resources, and has also teamed up with Medicast Productions to bring you the NREMT Survivor Series. These audios are geared to help you pass the NREMT practical exam. Listen to them on your computer, download them to your iPod, or burn them to a CD and listen in your car. These proven audios are going to have you walking into your practical skill stations with complete confidence. Now, I mentioned this before, and Now you know that watching a video, along with reading and good study habits, can greatly enhance your grasp of material. Like I said, you most likely remember a movie more than a book with the same title. Why should medical knowledge be any different? Paramedic includes videos on must-have topics like anatomy and physiology, cardiology, how-to videos on IV access, drug administration, intubation, and more, along with a bunch of EMS topic webinars. Now, more than ever, paramedic teaching institutes, state agencies, and even the NREMT are creating exams that will challenge the MS test taker while at the same time ensuring that they know the material being tested on. The problem is that everyone has a different method of studying, and comfort levels vary when taking an exam. And this is why Paramedic offers several practice methods within its exam database. Many EMS providers stress and have difficulty in reading and understanding EKGs. Paramedic brings a complete course that will have you understanding EKGs in no time. This is the absolute must-have resource to know all there is about reading EKGs, and is probably the ultimate EKG training guide. Discover the heart like never before. Listen to over 30 heart sounds, view pictures of EKGs from normal sinus rhythms to third-degree heart block, and even go back to basics and refresh on areas like P to R intervals and EKG paper sizing. And the EKG section also includes various guidebooks and resources that are specific to EKGs and the heart. An online ECG Learning Center resource that you will be wondering how you ever did without, and a new 2-part ECG video course. All this along with the 5-part interactive cardiology modules guarantees that you will have a firm understanding of EKGs. So get access to all this, plus the growing selection of other hard-to-find online EMS resources for even more training and career help. Plus, Paramedic demand is continually growing with more downloads, videos, audios, and my live monthly Paramedic Insider and Paramedic Plus training and workshops just for members, as well as a member-only forum. As a special bonus, you also get an exclusive member benefit. We now have a preferred partnership with The Creative and have just added their Paramedic Review Plus and the 12-lead ECG Challenge. These popular web-based apps are sure to bring you to the next level in exam success and 12-lead understanding. So here's how I see it. You have 3 options. Option 1, just leave this web page. Keep searching online for the right practice exams, study resources, downloads every time you have a question or exam coming up. Stress over every exam you end up taking, skill, and even patient contact. But if you're watching this video, I am guessing this option isn't for you. Now, option 2, you can go and do it all on your own. Use what you have and just leave it at that. But you risk missing something somewhere, and all your efforts may end up working against you. Option 3, sign up below for a premium membership and start taking your EMS studies and career to a new level. Now, signing up is easy. All you have to do is click the button below and you'll be taken to the sign up page, and then just choose which level is best for you. I have a few levels to choose from, including a free level that even offers a great selection of free study resources and downloads, as well as access to the member forum. Now, premium membership is just about 65 cents a day, but you can also sign up for a set 6 months and get access to all Paramedic has to offer while saving $40, and that ends up being about 2 months free at that 6-month level. Now, if you want even more than Paramedic has to offer, you can sign up as an annual premium member and get access to over 200 accredited continuing education courses for 1 full year. The annual fee is just a one-time cost, but you also save over $75. And just so you know, the accredited CEUs are also available as an add-on after subscribing at the basic premium level as well. So, go ahead and click the button below now. Sign up at the level that you're most comfortable with, feel will help you and your EMS career the most, and I will be waiting on the inside to welcome you. I'll see you there.